The once peaceful Green Valley was suddenly engulfed in chaos as extraterrestrial invaders descended from the skies, their advanced spacecraft casting ominous shadows over the lush landscape. The people of Earth stood no chance against the superior technology and firepower of the alien forces. Amidst the devastation, a small band of survivors, the last remnants of humanity, vowed to fight to their last breath to defend their home. As the alien ships breached the atmosphere, their ominous presence shattered the tranquility of Green Valley. Panic spread like wildfire among the inhabitants as they witnessed the sheer scale of the invasion. Buildings crumbled under the onslaught of otherworldly weaponry, and the once vibrant streets were reduced to rubble. In the chaos, families were torn apart, their screams drowned out by the deafening roar of the alien ships overhead. Some tried to flee, seeking refuge in the surrounding forests, while others stood frozen in fear, unable to comprehend the magnitude of the threat before them. But amidst the despair, a glimmer of hope remained. A group of survivors, brought together by chance and fueled by sheer determination, refused to surrender to the invaders. Led by Captain Sarah Reynolds, a veteran of Earth's military, they rallied together, their resolve unyielding in the face of impossible odds. With makeshift weapons in hand, they launched a desperate counterattack against the alien forces, their bravery serving as a beacon of hope for those still trapped amidst the chaos. Though outnumbered and outgunned, they refused to back down, fighting tooth and nail to protect their loved ones and their home. But as the battle raged on, it became painfully clear that their efforts were in vain. The alien technology was far beyond anything humanity had ever faced, and with each passing moment, their grip on Green Valley tightened. Yet even in the darkest of times, the human spirit endured. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, Captain Reynolds and her band of survivors emerged from the wreckage, battered but unbroken. Though the invasion had left scars that would never fully heal, they refused to give up hope, knowing that as long as they drew breath, the fight for survival would continue. The Gathering. In the aftermath of the invasion, the survivors of Green Valley came together, united by their determination to resist the alien occupation. Led by Captain Sarah Reynolds, a former soldier with a fierce spirit and unwavering resolve, they set out to gather whatever resources and allies they could find. With each passing day, their numbers grew as they recruited fellow survivors and salvaged weapons and supplies from the wreckage of their once thriving community. In the wake of the devastation wrought by the alien invasion, Green Valley lay in ruins, its once bustling streets now eerily quiet. But amidst the rubble and despair, a spark of defiance ignited in the hearts of the survivors. Led by the fearless Captain Sarah Reynolds, they refused to yield to the alien oppressors, determined to reclaim their home at any cost. With grim determination, Captain Reynolds and her band of survivors set out to gather what little remained of their shattered community. They combed through the debris, salvaging whatever supplies and weapons they could find, piecing together the remnants of their former lives. Every scrap of metal, every discarded piece of technology became a weapon in their hands, a symbol of their refusal to surrender to despair. But their efforts did not end there. Knowing that they could not face the alien forces alone, Captain Reynolds reached out to other survivors scattered across the valley. With each passing day, their numbers swelled as more and more people rallied to their cause, drawn together by a shared desire to resist the invaders and reclaim their freedom. As they worked tirelessly to rebuild and fortify their defenses, bonds formed among the survivors, forged in the crucible of adversity. They shared stories of loss and hardship, finding strength in each other's courage and resilience. Together, they became more than just a ragtag group of survivors. They became a family, bound by a common purpose and an unbreakable resolve. But even as hope began to stir in their hearts, They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. The alien invaders still loomed large on the horizon, their presence a constant reminder of the threat that lurked beyond the valley's borders. Yet, with Captain Reynolds at their helm, they faced the future with steely determination, ready to stand tall and fight for their survival until the very end. The Resistance. Armed with makeshift weapons and fueled by desperation, the human resistance launched guerrilla attacks against the alien occupiers, striking swiftly and without mercy. Despite their limited resources, they proved to be a formidable adversary, exploiting weaknesses in the enemy's defenses and disrupting their supply lines. But with each victory came a heavy toll, and the survivors knew that their fight was far from over. With a fierce determination burning in their hearts, the human resistance took to the shadows, becoming ghosts in the mist of the alien occupation. Armed with little more than makeshift weapons fashioned from salvaged scraps, they struck at the heart of the enemy's forces with calculated precision. Operating in small, agile units, they employed guerrilla tactics to harry and harass the alien occupiers at every turn. Ambushes sprung from the cover of the dense forest, sabotaging supply convoys and disabling communication arrays with ruthless efficiency. Each successful strike bolstered their resolve, proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity would not be crushed so easily. But for every victory won, the cost was steep. Lives were lost in the chaos of battle, sacrifices made in the name of freedom. Yet the survivors refused to waver in their resolve, their determination only growing stronger with each passing day. Despite their valiant efforts, the alien occupiers proved to be a formidable foe, their technology and firepower far surpassing that of the resistance. The survivors knew that they were fighting an uphill battle, one that could not be won through brute force alone. Yet, even in the darkest of hours, hope flickered like a beacon in the night. For as long as there were still those willing to stand and fight, the flame of resistance would never be extinguished. And so, with grit and determination, the human resistance pressed on, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead in their relentless pursuit of freedom. The Betrayal. As the resistance continued to gain momentum, whispers of betrayal began to circulate among the survivors. It soon became clear that there were those among them who were willing to betray their own kind in exchange for power and protection from the alien invaders. Captain Reynolds and her loyal followers were forced to confront this threat from within their own ranks, rooting out the traitors and purging their ranks of those who would sell out their own humanity for a chance at survival. As the resistance grew stronger, so too did the insidious whispers of betrayal. Among the survivors, shadows lurked, their hearts tainted by the allure of power and protection promised by the alien invaders. Captain Reynolds, ever vigilant, sensed the treachery festering within their ranks like a poison. At first the signs were subtle, a whispered conversation in the dark, a furtive glance exchanged between comrades. But as the whispers grew louder, so too did the sense of unease among the resistance fighters. It soon became clear that there were those among them who were willing to sacrifice their own kind for a chance at survival, no matter the cost. Captain Reynolds knew that she could not afford to ignore the threat from within. With a heavy heart, she and her loyal followers embarked on a painstaking investigation, determined to root out the traitors lurking in their midst. Betrayal cut deep, striking at the very heart of their unity and trust. But even as they purged their ranks of those who would sell out their own humanity, Captain Reynolds could not shake the sense of betrayal that lingered like a dark cloud overhead. The wounds inflicted by the traitors ran deep, leaving scars that would never fully heal. Yet, despite the pain and loss, the survivors remained steadfast in their resolve. They knew that the fight for survival demanded sacrifice, and they were willing to pay the price, no matter how high. For in the end, their loyalty to each other and their unwavering commitment to the cause would prove to be their greatest strength in the battle against the forces of darkness. The last stand. With the fate of humanity hanging in the balance, Captain Reynolds and her dwindling band of survivors made their final stand against the alien invaders. In a desperate battle for the future of their planet, they fought with everything they had, refusing to back down even in the face of overwhelming odds. As the skies above Green Valley erupted in a blaze of fire and fury, the last humans stood defiant, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of their species. As the alien forces tightened their grip on Green Valley, Captain Reynolds and her courageous band of survivors knew that the time for decisive action had come. With their backs against the wall and their numbers dwindling, they resolved to make their final stand against the invaders, refusing to surrender their home without a fight. Gathered atop a hill overlooking the valley, they braced themselves for the onslaught, their weapons at the ready and their spirits unyielding. The air crackled with tension as the alien ships descended from the heavens, their ominous presence casting a shadow over the once peaceful landscape. With a thunderous roar, the battle began in earnest. Explosions rocked the earth as human and alien forces clashed in a desperate struggle for supremacy. The survivors fought with a ferocity born of desperation, their every blow a testament to their unwavering determination to protect their home and their loved ones. Despite the overwhelming odds stacked against them, Captain Reynolds and her comrades refused to yield. They fought with a courage and tenacity that defied all logic, pushing themselves to the brink of exhaustion in their quest to hold the line against the alien onslaught. As the battle raged on, it became clear that victory would come at a heavy cost. The survivors watched in horror as their numbers dwindled, each loss driving home the grim reality of their situation. Yet even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, they refused to surrender, their resolve unbroken even as the flames of battle consumed everything around them. In the end, it was not victory that they sought, but defiance. With their final breaths, they stood tall and proud, a beacon of hope in the darkness, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for the future of humanity. And though they may have fallen in battle, their legacy would live on, inspiring future generations to never give up the fight for freedom and survival. The turning point. In the midst of the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged as the resistance uncovered a weakness in the alien invaders' technology. With this newfound knowledge, they launched a daring plan to cripple the enemy's forces and turn the tide of the war in their favor. As the battle raged on, Captain Reynolds and her allies executed their plan with precision, striking at the heart of the alien command structure and dealing a devastating blow to their oppressors. Amidst the chaos and despair, a flicker of hope illuminated the darkest hour for the human resistance. Through relentless determination and cunning strategy, they uncovered a chink in the armor of their extraterrestrial oppressors, a vulnerability in the alien technology that could be exploited to shift the balance of power in their favor. With this newfound knowledge burning bright in their hearts, Captain Reynolds and her allies devised a daring plan to strike at the very heart of the alien command structure. Every detail was meticulously planned, every contingency accounted for as they prepared to execute their audacious gambit. Under the cover of darkness, they launched their assault, striking swiftly and decisively at the heart of the enemy's defenses. The air crackled with tension as explosions echoed across the battlefield, the sound of chaos and defiance reverberating through the night. With Captain Reynolds leading the charge, the resistance fighters pressed forward, their determination unyielding in the face of overwhelming opposition. They fought with a ferocity born of desperation, their every action fueled by the knowledge that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn in favor of the human resistance. With surgical precision, they targeted key enemy installations, crippling the alien forces and sowing confusion and panic among their ranks. And then, in a moment of triumph that echoed through the ages, they struck the final blow, crippling the alien command structure and sending shockwaves rippling through the ranks of their oppressors. Victory was within their grasp, a beacon of hope shining bright in the darkness as they dared to dream of a future free from tyranny and oppression. The victory. Against all odds, the last humans emerged victorious, driving the alien invaders from their home and reclaiming Green Valley for themselves. But the cost of victory was steep, and many lives were lost in the struggle. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Captain Reynolds and her weary band of survivors surveyed the ruins of their once thriving community, knowing that their fight was far from over. In the aftermath of the final decisive battle, a heavy silence descended upon Green Valley. The once bustling streets lay eerily quiet, the echoes of gunfire and explosions now replaced by the somber hush of victory tinged with loss. Against all odds, the last humans had emerged triumphant, driving the alien invaders back from whence they came and reclaiming their home with blood, sweat, and tears. But victory came at a staggering cost. The scars of war marred the landscape, a haunting reminder of the sacrifices made by those who had laid down their lives in the name of freedom. Captain Reynolds and her weary band of survivors stood amidst the wreckage of their once thriving community, their hearts heavy with grief for those they had lost along the way. Yet, even in the midst of their sorrow, there was a flicker of hope, a glimmer of light amidst the darkness. For as they surveyed the ruins of Green Valley, they knew that their fight was far from over. The alien invaders may have been driven back for now, but the threat still loomed large on the horizon, a shadow waiting to descend once more upon the world. But the last humans were not afraid. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their spirits unbroken and their resolve unwavering. With each passing day, they would rebuild what had been lost, stronger and more resilient than ever before. And though the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and uncertainty, they would face it head-on, united in their determination to ensure that the sacrifices of those who had fallen would never be forgotten. The Rebirth. In the aftermath of the war, the people of Green Valley began the arduous task of rebuilding their shattered world. With the alien threat finally vanquished, they looked to the future with hope and determination, knowing that they had proven themselves capable of overcoming even the greatest of challenges. And as they worked together to forge a new beginning from the ashes of the old, they vowed to never forget the sacrifices that had been made in the name of freedom and humanity. As dawn broke over the scarred landscape of Green Valley, a sense of renewal filled the air. The survivors emerged from the shadows of war, their hearts heavy with loss, but their spirits buoyed by the promise of a new beginning. With the alien threat finally vanquished, they turned their gaze to the future, ready to rebuild their shattered world from the ground up. United in their resolve, the people of Green Valley came together, setting aside their differences to work towards a common goal. Amidst the ruins of their once thriving community, they labored tirelessly, clearing debris and laying the foundations for a brighter tomorrow. Every brick laid and every beam raised was a testament to their strength and resilience, a symbol of their unwavering determination to rise from the ashes stronger than ever before. But as they worked to rebuild their physical world, they also took stock of the lessons learned from the war that had nearly destroyed them. They vowed to never forget the sacrifices that had been made in the name of freedom and humanity, honoring the memory of those who had fallen with each step forward. And as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Green Valley began to flourish once more. Streets once barren and desolate now teemed with life, as shops and homes sprung up from the earth like flowers after a storm. The scars of war faded with each passing day, replaced by a sense of hope and renewal that permeated every corner of the valley. And though the road ahead would undoubtedly be long and fraught with challenges, the people of Green Valley faced the future with courage and determination, knowing that together they could overcome anything that stood in their way. For they had proven themselves capable of weathering the storm, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. And as they looked towards the horizon, they did so with hearts full of hope, ready to embrace whatever the future might hold.